Hey all, Kathy Jordan, Dana Perlman, back here with a tarot card pulse of the moment video, which we're about to draw some cards. And I was just sharing with Dana that I've been having some really chaotic dreams lately where there's lots of people, there's convention centers, I'm losing my shoes. My partner, Jerry, his shoes are like untied and the laces are gone, and looking for bathrooms and you can't find them, can't find any private bathrooms in these spaces. And there just it's really unclear what the purpose of the dream is, or maybe what the message is in it, other than the fact that it's pretty chaotic. And then this morning, around 4 o'clock in the morning, I was jolted awake because I heard this sound that sounded like it was coming from outside, like maybe it was deer on my deck, which on one level it did sound like that, but it wasn't long enough or prolonged enough. And then I thought maybe something fell. And this morning when I get up and I went out and looked, like there was nothing there. There were no limbs down or anything. So whether it was raccoons or it was clairaudience, and a sound woke me up, but it wasn't in the physical world, is possible.
Yeah, so we're sitting here wondering what's the question to explore today. And so what was the question, Kathy? It was like, why do we need chaos? Was sort of an inquiry.
Yeah, so how is this moment of chaos serving us? And we'll just note that it is April 3rd, 2025, day of liberation, according to one person, and the day of absolute chaos, according to most of us. So we're feeling these layers of chaos, from anything that might be internal and personal to what might be affecting friends and family around us, to chaos literally on a global scale at the moment. So when we look at the cards, they could have any level of interpretation depending on what shows up in the cards. So how is this moment of chaos serving us?
Yeah. And I'll just add, I'm in the US and Kathy is in Canada.
Mm.
So there's that too. Okay, so we're gonna
And
pull.
we're still friends. Just
Very much so, yes.
all right. I'm pulling again today, since I'm back in Canada in my office. I'm pulling from the spellcasting oracle, which looks like this on the outside.
And I am pulling from the Wildwood Tarot.
Excellent.
So can you say the question again?
How is this moment of chaos serving us? Interesting.
What'd you get? Transformation.
And I saw the butterfly and then the word, and this this is such an interesting moment because there were many people who say that the timeline for Earth has split, and there are at least two timelines, God knows, maybe many more of them that are active. And there are all of the people in the spiritual circles who I follow who are really talking about the two timelines, and the one being darker and chaotic and the other one being full of light, and that we really need to channel into the timeline of light in order to help it manifest faster in the world. And then you and I, Dana, were talking at one point, and I've had this conversation with a few people, like, just get it done, like bring it all down, get it done, so that we can move into the next phase, which I've also heard referred to as the great turning. And I've heard that 2025, and many of the people, again, that I listen to or followed, this year has for a long time been predicted to be the kind of year that it's turning out to be. And so when I look at this card, aside from transformation, the butterfly and the colors in the butterfly are so beautiful. And then there's like the light and the darker color, which isn't the ocean, but that was my impression when I'm looking at the card through the camera here. So the sense of emerging out of the turbulence and into the light, being able to fly.
Mhm. Yes.
And what do you see?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I pulled this lover card,
Mm.
which for some reason when we pull cards together like this, I always see sort of
Oh my
the
gosh, right?
synchronicities of the shapes together, which
That
I'm
is
like, wow, what the
funny.
heck?
Yep.
Um, so it's almost like two halves of a same coin.
Mm.
So that's what I'm seeing because of pulling this card.
Yep.
Um, yeah, wow. And transformation, like how is chaos serving us? Well, in a sense, like it's almost like we have to get so mixed up inside that we don't know what's what in order to get out of the way of what's coming and to be transformed. So, um, and transformation is difficult,
At
right? It can be very
the best of
difficult.
times. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So just looking at the butterfly as a symbol of beauty in transformation and that metamorphosis that we can go through.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I saw a reference recently to that whole metamorphosis chrysalis stage of the butterfly. And they said, when you look at that caterpillar, there is no indication that it's going to become this.
Right.
And
So true.
then that when it's in the chrysalis, it completely turns into goo
Yeah,
or
weird.
it becomes this.
Yeah.
So that must be some of the how is this moment of chaos serving us? Well, it's pushing us into this moment of transformation, whether we want it or not. Personally, I think it's really needed in
Mhm.
time. Whether I think personally there's certainly some aspects of transformation I'm looking at and want for myself, but when we look at our institutions and the world order and all of that, clearly seems to be time for transformation and all of those things.
Mhm. Yeah, and butterflies also, I think, oftentimes are symbolic of death,
Hmm.
which I'm just kind of like thinking about as we're talking about this, that um, yeah, there's something about that changing over, like death not being about dying per se, but some kind of death happening and letting go of what was.
Mm.
Yeah. Um, Very cool. And the lovers. So how is this transformation serving? What is it? The chaos. How is,
How is this moment of chaos serving us?
hmm. I mean, when I look at this card of the lovers, it's helping to get clarity about what you love and just watching them looking at each other. And, it's like there's something about their existing only right now in this moment with each other. Like there's
Hmm.
nothing else that seems to exist. They're just kind of gazing at each other. There's so much intensity there
Mm.
and softness. There's a lot of softness. Their hands are both on their hearts.
Right.
Um, so there's a clarity, something about the chaos bringing clarity about what's important and what to focus on with the heart.
Mm. Mm.
What do you see, Kathy?
Well, the thing that leaped out at me is that their other hands, they're hand fasted.
Mm,
And so, that like that's a ceremony of commitment to each other, but it also just means they're kind of stuck with each other. Like
mm,
I don't really mean stuck, but like there's something about the two, they're both needed in this moment of chaos to find
mm,
a way. So I think there's an element of we're not going to find our way alone. And if we're going to be hand fasted, we might want to handfast ourselves to people who can help us lift out of the moment of chaos so that we can be in this moment
Totally.
of beauty. Because I also see there's growth, there's the greenery underneath of them, there's the trees sort of branching over the top of them, and there's light behind that.
Mm-hmm.
So, how will this, and you said the word clarity already, so will this moment of chaos bring us some clarity? I liked also what you said about the heart, that it's
Mm,
we have to get out of our heads and be maybe not just in our hearts, but also in our intuitive knowing, in our inner wisdom, which is
mm,
why the work we're doing with Inner Wisdom Lab is so important right now.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's this togetherness, but inside themselves as well.
Hmm.
Totally. And like we are in it together. We are kind of stuck with each other. Like whatever's happening in the world, like we are all bound to one another,
Hmm.
right? In this way.
Yep.
Where
Well, and then that's also, as much as I just want to be bound to the people I want to hang out with, we're in a moment where we're bound to all sides of this chaos. And the only way, like we say about so many things, the only way to is through. And so faster the better, bring it on.
yeah. And also thinking about those who are like severely suffering.
Oh my gosh, right? Yeah. And it's only going to get worse before it gets better, which is why I want it to happen faster.
Totally.
This really holding on to the idea that out of the chaos, a new order is emerging. It's already taking shape, already
Mm-hmm.
there. And
Mm-hmm.
the work of people like us is just to keep lifting up that side of it, not ignoring what it's impossible to ignore anyway, what's happening in the chaos, but not to get lost in it, but just to keep our eyes on the light.
Right. Yes, totally.
Cool.
Absolutely.
And just again, the symmetry is
Yeah.
really remarkable um, in the cards, which also I think speaks a little bit to wholeness in,
Mm, mm-hmm.
in the patterning. If we look for the patterns, we'll see them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You don't have to look too hard for this one, but
I know it's so interesting, the shapes. Yep.
mm, cool.
All right. Well, we're going to have a call, a community call and gathering, Tarot Pulse of the Moment on April 17th. And it's a free community call. We hope you will join us and bring your tarot cards. And we're going to have another sort of question that feels relevant in the moment and pull some cards and get out of this logical
Mm.
thinking and patterned way of being in the world and see how these cards can lend itself to symbology and seeing the world from fresh eyes and from a different perspective. So we hope you'll join us.
Yeah, you don't have to have much experience with tarot.
Mm,
As you see from what Dana and I are doing, we're looking at the cards and we're making meaning out of the images that we see, which is way more important even than trying to memorize what a card means. So
mm,
uh,
hmm.
it's a really good opportunity to continue to hone your own intuition and intuitive knowing.
Word.
All right. Thanks for watching and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And hopefully we'll see you on the 17th. And if not, we'll just see you next time we post. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.